What's up, everyone? Welcome back to CodeMechanic. So, what does this actually mean? Your car is a network of computers, all talking to each other over a system called the CAN bus. Think of it like the internet for your car. The U0151 code is your car telling you there's a breakdown in communication somewhere on that network. Specifically, with the Airbag system, the main computer is sending out messages, but the Airbag module isn't answering. This immediately disables your entire airbag system, and you'll definitely see that dreaded airbag warning light on your dashboard. Let's pinpoint the problem. The issue lies somewhere between the main ECU and the SRS control module. It could be a problem with the module itself, but more often than not, it's a wiring issue. The CAN bus network is a twisted pair of wires, usually called CAN high and CA and low. If one or both of these wires are broken, shorted to ground, or shorted to power, the communication stops. So, how do we diagnose this? Time to get our hands dirty. The first and most important step is safety. Before you touch anything related to the airbag system, disconnect the battery and wait at least 15 minutes. This allows the capacitors in the system to discharge, preventing any accidental deployment. Safety first, always. Once it's safe, grab your The first thing we'll check is the power and ground supply to the SRS module itself. You'll need a wiring diagram for your specific vehicle to know which pins to check. Find the main power wire going into the module and check for battery voltage. Then, find the ground wire and check for continuity to a good chassis ground. If you have no power or a bad ground, the module can't turn on, and of course, it can't communicate. This is often the culprit: a blown fuse, a corroded ground point, or a broken power wire. If the power and ground are good, our next suspect is the CAN bus wiring. With the batteries still disconnected, we'll check the continuity of the CAN high and CAN low wires, using your wiring diagram. Identify these two wires at the SRS module connector and at the main ECU or a data link connector. Set your multimeter to the continuity or OMS setting. Check each wire from end to end. You should see very low resistance, close to 0 OE. If you get an open line or OL reading, you've found a break in the wire. You also need to check for shorts. Check the resistance between the CAN high wire and ground, and then the CAN low wire and ground. You should see a very high resistance. If it's low, you have a short to ground. Do the same for power check between the CAN wires and a known power source. Again, you should see very high resistance. Finally, check for a short between the CAN high and CAN low wires themselves. Unless your car has a terminating resistor in the module, these should not be directly connected. So, what happens when you find the problem? If it's a broken wire or a bad connection, the fix is straightforward. Repair the damaged section of the harness. Make sure to use proper soldering techniques and heat shrink tubing to create a durable, weather-resistant repair. Don't just twist wires together and wrap them in tape. Asking for future problems: if a fuse was blown, replace it, but also figure out why it blew to prevent it from happening again. Now, if all the wiring checks out perfectly good power, good ground, and perfect continuity on the CAN lines with no shorts, then the problem is most likely the SRS control module itself. It has failed internally and can no longer communicate. In this case, the only solution is to replace the module. Be sure to get the correct part for your car's year, make, and model. After replacing it, the new module will often need to be programmed or coded to the vehicle using a specialized scan tool. This tells the module it's in a new car and syncs it with the other systems. And that's the full rundown on tackling the U0151 code. It might seem intimidating, but with a logical diagnostic approach, a multimeter, and a wiring diagram, you can track it down. Start with the basics: power and ground. B for assuming the expensive module is bad. Thanks for watching. I hope this guide helps you solve your U0151 mystery. If you found this video helpful, give it a thumbs up. And don't forget to subscribe to CodeMechanic for more in-depth diagnostic guides. Drop any questions you have in the comments below. See you on the next one.